Soon we will be at the part of the fantasy football season where you're just looking and scraping up running backs that are just getting touches and just praying for the best. And some of you guys are going to be looking at some of these running backs and be like, he's not good, I don't want him on my team. And some of you guys are going to be feeding for those running backs because they're going to be seeing touches, they're going to be getting opportunities, and that's all you really want because you're decimated at the running back position. Roschon Johnson is a running back that a lot of people are looking at right now for the Chicago Bears. He's getting touches, he's getting opportunities. His situation is kind of, sort of not really starting to sweeten up for him. But we're going to talk about whether or not you need him for fantasy football. The good, the bad, the ugly, so you can make the decision for yourself. But before we do this deep dive, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're doing these deep dives every day, multiple players a day, those trending players so you can get that advanced analytics, that information you need to make your decision. We also use these videos to help you set your lineups with the Must Start series. Click that button. Stop missing out. Roschon Johnson, though, looks like he's going to be getting more work. Looks like he's going to be getting more opportunity. Could be coach speak. Could be true. We don't know until it starts happening. But last week, we got 8 carries, 30 yards, 5 targets in the passing game. If you remember last year, he was used a good bit in the passing game as well. 10.2 PPR fantasy points. And you looked at what he did in college. He was playing with Bijan Robinson, but averaged 4.28 yards after contact per attempt. In 2022, he can make guys miss. He can run through guys. He's very elusive for his size because he is a bigger running back at 6 foot, 219 pounds. But we have a good size adjusted speed score at him. And on top of that, had a good 10-yard split at the NFL Combine. And you're looking at the running back depth chart here. DeAndre Swift's not getting it done. DeAndre Swift's not getting it done. He has been horrible. He's been so bad, he's a meme right now. He's been that bad. And you're looking at the efficiency metrics here. 53rd among running backs in yards per touch. 46th among running backs in yards created per touch. Yards created, period. 34th among running backs. That's with him getting a lot of opportunity. He's running a lot of routes, but he's not getting targeted in the pass game either. And also, when you look at the offensive line here for the Chicago Bears, we're not grading out well when it comes to PFF grades for the run blocking. So we have to make some changes to something here. And it's easier to switch out the running backs to move them around than it is the offensive line. And everything's not looking good. And Roschon Johnson has some size and some pop to his step. So maybe this could be what solves the Bears' problem. Or maybe he gets a little bit of fantasy production. Last year he was off and on with fantasy production. Some games he just wasn't getting opportunities. He just wasn't on the field. And in other games he was used a lot in the passing game. His work as a receiver out of the backfield buoyed his production in a lot of games. We could see that this year if Caleb Williams decides to check it down a little bit more to the running backs. But looking at his targets here, you can see he just has spike weeks and targets. 7 in week 1, 6 in week 10, a couple 5-packs there. So we can get targets out of the backfield. We can get some productivity in the passing game. And he has not been out there, mainly healthy scratch, but coming back from a toe injury. You have other running backs there. You're working them in. And now we're good to go in week 3. We get some workload there. Things start to look good. And they're talking about giving him more workload. Things are starting to trend up. Yards after contact per attempt here in the NFL. 3.5 in 2024, so pretty much last week. 2.35 last year. 12 missed tackles forced 2 this year already. So you're looking at that. But the thing about DeAndre Swift, he's running a ton of routes and not getting targets. One of the most targeted running backs in the National Football League. When you look at him on the spreadsheets, you're like, this guy's a buy. This guy's a buy. But then you see him with like 1 point something yards per carry, and you're like, no. But you look at this, he's got 75 routes on the year, 25 routes a game. That's a lot for a running back. Roschon Johnson, though, last week, 21 routes. One of the most routes among running backs per week. If that averages up, one of the most in the National Football League. 5 targets already. And you're looking at the work here in the run game. DeAndre Swift, 1.8 yards per carry. 37 attempts, 68 yards. Partly him, partly offensive line. Mostly it's just a big old mess. Roschon Johnson was able to churn out 3.8 yards per carry. Has half his yardage on 8 carries. Almost half of Swift's yardage on 8 carries on the season. That being said, Roschon Johnson might be the guy to look at here. Khalil Herbert's got some upside too. They got to start making some changes. They got to start doing some things to make things different. One thing to note though, even in neutral game script, the Bears want to throw the ball. The Bears want to push the pace in the passing game. And that being said, having a running back out there with some size that can catch passes might be the thing to look at, considering you're not targeting DeAndre Swift for whatever reason. Maybe with Roschon Johnson already getting a good bit of targets, maybe you just want to use him more in the passing game. Maybe he just works better with Caleb Williams. But the work rate's there. Maybe we should see him used a little bit more. Right now, he looks like a good speculation for more work. So you don't need him because you don't trust the Bears. You don't trust the upside here. You got some other stashes. You don't want to throw him in lineups. It's too risky. He is very risky. I said a speculation for work. Work leads to fancy production if the work goes right. But for work. That being said, he's not a guarantee. Nobody's a guarantee. But his situation, what we saw from last year, really no guarantee. But there is some upside because there might be some work here and you're chasing touches. You want the touches, you might get some here. You might get some work right here. He's using the passing game, and that means in PPR you like that. He's good between the tackles. He's got size. He's got some burst. Not the greatest situation. He's not a top-tier running back, but you're chasing work. You're hurting, and you got to do what you got to do, and this is a running back to pick up that might be getting more work, and that ends up being more work this week. Then everybody's going to run out and get him off the waiver wire, and people are already talking about him. People are already picking him up due to that news blurb. You might want to as well. You might want to, but it really depends on your situation. If you're good at running back, you look at this situation, you feel icky, don't do it. Don't do it. But if you're hurting, you got a couple decimated running backs, you got a spot open due to that, you might want to do it now because he's a free pickup right now. Your waivers already ran. It ain't going to hurt you. You got to drop a jabroni. And if you got to drop a jabroni, you got to drop a jabroni. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One, thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.